is JG with a new edition of Tuesday's News Pills. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Because of the second wave of the pandemic, which is wreaking havoc across the world, there are a lot of depressing stories around, but we always try and look at happy things too. Let's look at the headlines of the world in the last 7 days. China and US pledge climate change commitment. China and the US say they are committed to working together and with other countries on tackling climate change. It comes after several meetings between Chinese climate envoy Zhai Zhenhua and his US counterpart John Kerry in Shanghai last week. They both agreed on further specific actions to reduce emissions. A joint statement on Sunday confirmed. US President Joe Biden is holding a virtual climate summit this week, which China says it is looking forward to. However, it is not yet known if Chinese President Xi Jinping will join the world leaders who have pledged to attend. The United States and China are committed to cooperating with each other and with other countries to tackle the climate crisis, which must be addressed with the seriousness and urgency that it demands. British health officials are investigating a COVID-19 variant originating in India, but as yet they do not have enough evidence to classify it as a variant of concern. Suzanne Hopkins of Public Health England, that is PHE, said on Sunday. Speaking on the Andrew Marr show on BBC television, Hopkins said, "We have not got enough data about this variant yet to be able to clarify whether it is a variant of concern. We have put it as a variant under investigation." No driver, Tesla, involved in a deadly Texas crash. 2 men were killed in a crash in Texas while riding in a Tesla car that police said almost certainly had no one behind the wheel. US media reported Sunday. The vehicle was driving at high speed late Saturday north of Houston when it slammed into a tree and burst into flames, the Wall Street Journal reported, quoting Harris County Sheriff Mark Harmon. "Our preliminary investigation is determining, but it is not complete yet, that there was no one at the wheel of the vehicle," he said. "We are almost 99.9% sure when police arrived, one of the 2 victims was sitting in the front passenger seat and the other in the rear seat." On its website, Tesla warns that the driver assistance system it offers do not make their vehicles fully autonomous and that active driver supervision is still necessary. But videos regularly show moving Teslas with drivers asleep or without their hands on the wheel for extended periods of time. China is starting clinical trials of a COVID vaccine that can be inhaled. China's CanSino Biologics will be starting clinical trials for a COVID-19 vaccine that is administered through inhalation next week. The company's co-founder and chief executive Zhu Fengyu told CNBC on Sunday. Yu told CNBC that an inhaled vaccine could be more effective than those injected, given that coronavirus enters the human body through the airways. CanSino Bio is jointly developing the inhalation vaccine with the Beijing Institute of Biotechnology. To be clear, the company's adenovirus type 5 vector vaccine or AD5-nCoV administered by injection was already approved for use in China and several other countries. Australia opens travel bubble with New Zealand. The long-awaited Australia-New Zealand travel bubble means visitors no longer need to quarantine on arrival. Thousands of passengers were booked to fly between the two nations on Monday. Both countries have contained COVID outbreaks and kept infection rates low, largely due to tight restrictions. Excited passengers crowded airports in Australia for flights to various parts of New Zealand on Monday, with some rising before dawn to get ready to board, while many buzzed with the anticipation of seeing loved ones. For others, it was a more somber occasion. Nirali Johal said she was going to see her partner for the first time in almost 2 years. I couldn't sleep last night. It has been very exciting, she said. We are just happy that it has happened and we are able to live a normal life again. To fly under the bubble's rules, passengers must have spent 14 days before departure in either Australia or New Zealand. They must not be awaiting the results of a COVID test, nor have any COVID symptoms, amongst other criteria. India's capital to lockdown amid devastating virus surge. New Delhi imposed a week-long lockdown Monday night to prevent the collapse of the Indian capital's health system, which authorities said have been pushed to its limit amid an explosive surge in coronavirus cases. In scenes familiar from surges elsewhere, ambulances catapulted from one hospital to another trying to find an empty bed over the weekend, while patients lined up outside of medical facilities waiting to be let in. Ambulances also idled outside of crematoriums carrying half a dozen dead bodies each. People keep arriving in an almost collapsing situation, said Dr. Suresh Kumar, who heads Loknayak Jayaprakash Narayan Hospital, one of the New Delhi's largest hospitals for treating COVID-19 patients. Most desperately need oxygen, Kumar said, but the city is facing shortage of oxygen and some medicine, according to Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who told reporters that the new stringent measures being imposed were required to prevent a collapse of the health system, which had reached its limit. NASA successfully flies small helicopter on Mars. The American Space Agency has successfully flown a small helicopter on Mars. The drone, called Ingenuity, was airborne for less than a minute, but NASA is celebrating what represents the first powered, controlled flight by an aircraft on another world. Confirmation came via satellite at Mars, which relayed the chopper's data back to Earth. The space agency is promising more adventurous flights in the days ahead. Ingenuity will be commanded to fly higher and farther as engineers seek to test the limits of the technology. We can now say that human beings have flown a rotorcraft on another planet, said a delighted Mimi Ong, project manager for Ingenuity at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena. The demonstration saw the Mars copter called Ingenuity rise to about 3 meters, hover, swivel, and then land. NASA has already approved a helicopter mission to Titan, the big moon of Saturn. Dragonfly, as the mission is known, should arrive at Titan in mid-2030. Thanks, and see you in my next video.